All right, now this is going to be a Disney related video because in one of my live streams, you all wanted to get my thoughts on what are my top 5 Disney cartoons. Now it's hard to say because you have Disney, you have One Saturday Morning, you have the Disney Channel, and there are so many different eras of the Disney franchise in terms of their television programming. Of course, you have the cartoons like pb&J, Otter, DuckTales. Then you have like the live action shows like That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens, just to name a couple. Now what I did was I did some research and looked at like the early 2000s and the 90s, pretty much when I was a kid. And most of these shows are online, and even today at 26, I still watch some of these shows in my free time. I just sit back and watch a few episodes here and there. But I wanted to talk about my personal top 5, and I feel like looking at my list, I can think of at least 2 shows that might not be in a lot of other people's top 5. So in the comment section below, let me know what are some of your top Disney Channel shows. Now, some of these shows are, I feel like they are underrated. Number 5, I'm thinking it's going to be The Weekenders. The Weekenders. It was definitely a show where it was a group of 4 kids, 2 guys, 2 girls, and different ethnicities, which was great. I mean, you don't really think about that when you're a kid, but looking back, it's great that they kind of mix things up that way. It's different dynamics. Some of them celebrate Kwanzaa, Christmas. Some of them have different heritage that they deal with. I think Carter. Wait, was it Carver? He was black. Tino, he was like I think he was Hispanic. I think Laura was Caucasian, and Trish was like from Russia or something like that. And it was cool to see the family dynamics as well. But what really made me love the show was like the wit, like the one-liners. That was hilarious. I think they were like in middle school too. And one thing that set these people apart, well, these kids apart, is the fact that they wore different clothing. They kind of rotated their outfits in episodes because they're not just wearing the same thing over and over again, like a Kim Possible or a Penny Proud. It was really diverse in that aspect. And I highly recommend like going to YouTube or just in Google typing in "Watch the Weekenders" online. I'm pretty sure you can find it somewhere, and just watch maybe 3 to 4 episodes, because it was a show that, to me, it holds up. It really does hold up, and that's why it's number 5 on my list. Number 4 is going to be Darkwing Duck. I mean, the theme song was epic. I loved it more than DuckTales, because DuckTales, it was good. Like I need to do another video talking about theme songs, but DuckTales was a fun adventure. But back in the day, I think Disney had to pump out episodes. Like, it wasn't like once a week. I'm talking like Monday through Friday new episodes. So some episodes really were more like filler instead of being like a consistent story. It was just like, hey, we're doing an adventure today. Plus, Huey, Dewey, and Louie really weren't that interesting because, to be honest, they were the same character. It was just 3 of them with different color clothing, green, red, and blue. Like, to be honest, I haven't watched too much of the reboot of DuckTales. I did watch like the first 3 episodes and enjoyed it. And I really do need to sit down and watch some of the newer content, because I do like how they gave the brothers different personalities. And they even made Webby a more interesting character. But for me, Darkwing Duck was great just because it was like Disney's Batman, so to speak. You had like, I think some of my favorite episodes was like Justice Ducks versus the Fearsome Five, when it was Darkwing, Gizmo Duck, Morgana, Stegmuth the dinosaur, and the female Aquaman. She was like a fish, but she had a trident and stuff like that. And it was like Negaduck, Bushroot, Quackerjack, Liquidator, and Megavolt. And I love Negaduck. He was one of my favorite villains of the show. Pretty much Darkwing Duck's evil doppelganger from another universe or something like that. So the Negaverse, that's what it was. So I really did love that show. And I did hear that he was supposed to be on the DuckTales reboot at some point, and I really do need to look into that, because trust and believe, as soon as Darkwing Duck is in an episode, I am watching that when it airs. So maybe the success of DuckTales will lead to a Darkwing Duck reboot, and trust and believe, I will definitely tune in for that. Number 3 is going to be Recess. I mean, literally, that show is great. You know, the dynamic between TJ and friends, Miss Finster, King Bob, and there are just so many episodes I love rewatching, like Weekend at Muriel's when Spinelli spends the weekend with Miss Finster. The Economics of Recess, where it's like these stickers. They're like, you know, that it was this literally, I feel like at the time it was a parody of Pokemon cards. You know, like back in the day, if you didn't have cards, you weren't anybody. Like in the episode of Recess, you had to have these stickers. It's like, you know, to drink from the water fountain or go into the school or, you know, get a kickball and things like that. And, you know, TJ pretty much turns into like the stock market, and it was hilarious. And there were just so many classic episodes from that show that I enjoy watching time and time again. So Recess is highly recommended. And just to kind of not go off topic, but most of these shows, I just love their theme songs, even if they didn't even have words. And back in the days, like these shows had such catchy theme songs and tunes that you felt upset if you missed the opening. Like you might catch the opening of the episode where the episode title will pop up, but if you missed that theme song, you got pissed off. That's how I felt. Number 2, Kim Possible. I mean, that show was just awesome. I mean, it was geared towards females, but it was actually for everyone. I mean, I love Ron Stoppable. Well, Rufus was my favorite character. He's a naked mole rat. I love the fact that, you know, Kim Possible and Shigo would just like, it would just pop off every time they saw each other. It was like a Pokemon battle. When their eyes met, there was going to be a fight. Like it was going to be on. And I love all the movies. What was it? So the Drama, What's the Sitch? No, wait, actually a Stitch in Time. Was that it? A Stitch in Time? And even the 2-parter finale, Graduation. And I do know that they're currently working on a live action movie for Kim Possible. And I'm actually interested to see how that turns out. I'm very interested to see, because I'm not mistaken, aside from Rufus being a CGI naked mole rat and Shigo, you know, who fires like green energy bolts and whatnot, I don't think there will be too much need for CGI unless they have like, you know, a lot of special effects. But it always fascinated me, like Kim Possible, is she like superhuman or something like that? Because she's a cheerleader and the theme song says, I'm a basic average girl and I'm here to save the world. And I'm like, how does she know all these martial arts and stuff like that? It's really interesting. Like I never really questioned that though. It never took away from the show when I was watching it, just because it's like she saves the world on a regular basis, but she goes through the same things that teenagers go through. I mean, teenage girls, but then you have Ron Stoppable, and they also deal with, you know, real life situations, and that's awesome. And like I said before with the Weekenders, if you look at these episodes, like the humor, the wit, it still holds up today, and that's amazing. And then we get to number 1, and I feel like this is one of the most underrated Disney Channel animated shows of all time, Disney's Fillmore. You probably don't remember it because it was only on for 2 seasons. I only recall seeing it on one Saturday morning. It wasn't really a show that they showed in rotation. I do know for a time they did like these mini marathons on ABC Family, and it was pretty much the story of, you know, a delinquent middle schooler becoming a member of the safety patrol with his partner Ingrid Third, and their mission. Like every episode felt like a darn episode In the Heat of the Night or a Matlock or something like that. Like it was always 3 acts to an episode. You know, they had to solve a crime of somebody graffiti, stealing stuff, kidnapping mascots, and things of that nature on the show in the middle school. And it was just so ridiculous how a lot of those chase scenes happened. My biggest thing as a kid watching the show was, okay, if the safety patrol catches you in the midst of, you know, breaking a law or rule, I mean, I say law, but, you know, the rules of the school, why are you going to run away? Because you're going to have to go to school the next day. They're going to catch you anyway. But it's just amazing how some of that stuff went down. But the fact that it was treated like, you know, a legitimate police station, and then you have this rogue turn, a delinquent turn, you know, good cop or detective. It's just amazing because even as an adult, I watch that show and enjoy it because of like the mystery. Even though I've watched these episodes like 20 times over, it's still a joy to watch. So that's my top 5 Disney animated series. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and help this video get a lot of views, because remember, you all requested it now. So I want to get some feedback. Share this video around, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you later.